Welcome back to WRPL. It's the podcast where we talk about all the things we were watching, reading, playing, and listening to. My name's Ben.
And I'm Steve.
How's it going, Steve?
It's going well, Ben. How are you?
I'm excellent. I heard you just came up with a new catchphrase for the show.
I did, and I think it really encompasses what our show is about. And it goes a little something like this. When the cow's got milk, make some beef.
Is that an old family saying?
I think it speaks for itself, Ben.
Yeah, it really does. I'm going to just tee you up for random things from here on out.
Okay,
Instead
great.
of just, hey, Steve, how's it going?
I'll work on my improv skills, which are non-existent.
If the cow has milk, make beef. That sounds real dumb. Like, if it has milk, you want to milk the cow, and you use it as a dairy cow.
I said it speaks for itself, Ben.
Well, we also have Nick with us today. We have a grab bag of random things. Steve absolutely refused to watch Final Destination, so we are doing some catch up on two Netflix anthology shows that have come back this year: Blak Mirror season 7 and Love, Death and Robots series 4. Let's start with a roll. 7.
Damn.
Nick?
18.
Nick,
There you go,
you're
Nick.
so good. See, he just stole my good roll.
Is that a 9?
It looked like a 0 from back here.
Yeah,
I know
it's a 9.
It isn't a 0, but my luck would be the magical 0 would just show up. Okay, well, Nick, you won. Oh, actually, no, I got some stuff to talk about. So, Nick is a little preoccupied. He can't really. There was a couple of trailers I want to bounce off you. There was a teaser for Spider Noir. Did you watch that?
I thought that was fake.
Was it fake?
Well,
That's real.
I mean, it looked real
Yeah.
from the 15 seconds I saw of it, but it was from like a YouTube channel that wasn't Marvel, I don't think it was, or maybe the one that I just happened to see was like.
I saw it on TikTok, so.
Yeah, so it didn't look like it came from a real source. I was just like, is this an AI thing or something like that? I wasn't sure, so I didn't believe it.
Well,
and I don't really remember it, but from the 15 seconds, I was like, that looks cool.
yeah, I mean, was he called Spider Noir in Spider-Verse? I thought it was Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah.
I think the comic, if like you buy the actual comic book, it's just called, I think it's called Spider Noir.
Oh,
I could be wrong.
Well,
Look it up.
Interested. When they announced that, I really didn't give a shit, but I'm interested now. It's got a nice kind of Sin City look of that black and white with spots of color. It's cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's called Spider Noir.
Oh, okay. And then we got a trailer for Nobody 2, which nobody asked for. But I enjoyed the first one enough.
Yeah, I like the first one. I wouldn't say it warranted a sequel.
No.
I wasn't clamoring for Nobody 2.
Nobody Goes Hawaiian.
Yeah, I mean, I think the trailer's fine. It's more like the same.
Yeah.
I like Bob Odenkirk, but I just don't know if I care.
Yeah, but of all the, John Wick clones that we got, it's probably the best one out of all of them.
Sure. I mean, I think because we have the pass, it's like, yeah, I'll see it. But if I was going to pay for it, I wouldn't go see it.
No. Because that was COVID-y time, And that may have been like a release before everything was still completely...
I don't remember.
Yeah. I think I may have watched it at home. But whatever.
Yeah. And
then last one, new Superman trailer.
Mm-hmm.
This trailer fucking rules. I am fuck Fantastic Four. I hope it's really good. I think it will be good enough, but I am setting my sights really, really high. And I'm hyping it up way too much, but this movie's going to be fucking sweet. And it's going to make $80 billion in its first month alone.
That is a terrible prediction.
No, but it's really going to make a lot, I think. And I think it's going to be very good. It looks so interesting compared to any Superman, anything we had before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely has a lot going for it. I thought that it was an interesting choice to have the first half of the trailer be part of their interviewing Superman thing. I mean, I like Rachel Brosnahan. I think would be a good Lois Lane. All the other side here, my whole thing is, and I know I should just trust James Gunn, and I do, because I don't think he's made anything bad that I've seen. But I'm interested to see how all these characters like come together and how they fit and how this world works. That's what I'm most excited for. But it looks bright and fun, and he definitely looks like Superman.
It sounds like Superman.
Whenever they make a Superman movie, they're always really good at getting someone who looks
they
and sounds like
haven't
Superman.
fucked it up too bad.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the Adventures of not Lois and Clark, but the newer one, the most recent Superman.
Yeah.
Dean Cain.
No,
That's
not Lois and Clark.
Yeah.
Oh.
Clark and Lois.
Clark and Lois.
Yeah, that one.
That's the animated one, though, right?
No, that's My Adventures with Superman.
Oh.
Yes, I heard
Where he has sons. Yeah, no, I hear it's really good, and I don't think he like quite nails the look.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
But we're just so used to a square-jawed Superman, and Superman doesn't have to be buff because he's just buff regardless of his size. He could be a twig and he would punch harder than anybody else. So it wasn't like an okay take. It's just, I don't know, he doesn't look like Superman compared to a lot of other ones.
Sure.
I'll even take Dean Cain. For a TV show in the 90s, I think that was a perfectly fine Superman.
I think my favorite part in the trailer is like the guy on the street who like helps him up.
Yeah.
I always like when there's humans working with the superheroes and they're doing, it's kind of like Superman's a global hero, but he kind of feels like a hometown guy, at least to obviously Metropolis. So I like seeing, normal folk helping out when they can.
Like in Spider-Man?
Like in Spider-Man, but not as annoying.
Yeah. I think my favorite part is him just talking like Clark Kent in their interview. And then when she's like, "Are you ready, Superman?" And he like sits forward and he deepens his voice. It's just this shift that I'm like, damn, he really is portraying Superman extremely well. Fuck Henry Cavill. You look great as Superman, but you're kind of in some dog shit movies. Sorry, man. But yeah, this one looks extremely fun. All right, let's get to other stuff. Nick, you won the role, so you get to talk about whatever you want first.
You have to speak right now with everything.
I can't edit. I can't. All that bullshit at the beginning of retaking everything, it's in it.
I'll just do something real quick. I listened to something.
Okay.
Just to get it off me so I can finish eating some food. There's an artist I listen to called Amine. It's Amine with an accent.
Okay.
I think Steve would really like this guy if he doesn't already listen to him.
A little louder.
If you're like a fan of like Childish Gambino.
Steve. He got a little twitch in his balls.
Especially like older. Because I would say the genre of Amine is like hip hop, rap, almost like happy rap, which is a genre. It's just like, it's just like good vibes rap. I don't know. But like, not all of this stuff is like that, but it's really good. He dropped a new album. He hasn't in a while. So, yeah, check it out. And Steve, I think you would like it.
Cool. All right. Short and sweet. Thank you, Dick. You can go now.
See ya.
So I'm next. So I watched the first 2 episodes of Murderbot on Apple TV Plus.
Oh, I didn't realize that came out.
It did on Friday. Alexander Skarsgård is a security droid guy. They still got human flesh and everything, but they're robot parts underneath. He just one day cracks his, chip that inhibits him from becoming a crazy murderbot. And he does it, and he's like, wait, if they find out, they're going to fucking kill me. So I got to lay low. So he's just kind of trying to blend in with the corporation that makes them. And he gets assigned to these hippie scientists that they're just studying this far off planet. And you got to have a robot with you. It's a insurance thing. And so they pick him because he was the cheapest. He's the oldest model. But now he's like conflicted because every human he's ever met has been on like mining colonies, and they're all just pieces of shit and just bad human beings. But these ones are actually pretty nice, and maybe he could learn to trust them. And they're kind of suspicious of him. Of, like, why is he asking these questions? They don't care about us in that way. So, and like David Dasmalchian is in it, and he has some enhancements and doesn't quite trust the robot, but he helps save the lives of some. So it's fun so far. It's funnier than I expected it to be. And I think Alexander Skarsgård is kind of terrible in it, but his bad acting kind of makes the robot more endearing. Like it's working, but I don't think he was the right cast for it. It's weird. You just kind of have to see. But as of now, I'll give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I haven't watched the show yet, but it's based off a book series that I've been aware of for a while, and it's been on my I'll read these one day list. And when I saw the trailer for this, I was kind of surprised because the trailer kind of pitches it as a comedy show, and my understanding of the books was it's more like here's a robot, and the book's called Murderbot, but he has no interest in murdering. He's not a violent robot. He's just a robot with depression.
Yeah.
And it's just him having this existential dread to his life as a robot. So seeing the trailer, I was like, is the book funnier than I hear it is, or is they're just taking this property in a totally different direction? So I can't speak to the books because I hear at least the first one's really great. I don't know about the rest of the series, but it's cool that they made it. It wasn't the vibe I thought that show was going to be when it came out. So I'm surprised.
Cool.
I don't want to talk about books because every time I do, you guys fucking pieces of shit.
I like hearing books. I just like giving you the business.
Fuck you. I'll save it for next week. I did watch a movie.
Oh.
I watched The Order, starring Jude Law.
Oh, how was that?
I really liked it. So The Order is based off a true story. Jude Law plays an FBI agent who teams with a local police officer.
Oh, I've seen this. Sorry. For a second, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? I saw this in theaters.
Cool. Who are investigating a group of neo-Nazis, I guess, who have, broken off from this right-wing group and started their own group that essentially is we're gonna bomb porn theaters and synagogues and rob banks and stuff so we can fund our mission to one day overthrow the government. The revolution starts here. And so it's just them trying to track these guys down and stop them before they do any more damage. If you like movies, I'd say it's very reminiscent of Hell or High Water kind of vibes.
I was thinking it was that with maybe Black Klansman.
Yeah, Black Klansman's more fun.
And it's got a kind of a gimmick to it.
But that's a pretty decent mashup of the two. This one's not funny or fun. It just the whole movie just makes you so fucking angry that these people exist and think this way. And it's very frustrating because you'll see Nicholas Hoult plays the main, I guess, villain of the movie, who is leading this group of radicalized white supremacists. And just him at a party with all of his friends, and it's all this very nice barbecue kind of thing happening, and just oh, I'm so happy all of you are here. It just seems real nice. And then 5 minutes later, he's over in the corner with his son, teaching him how to use a machine gun, and it's just oh, fuck you. And I mean, not his son who's 15, his 4-year-old son how to use a machine gun. And just hearing these people talk about shit and how they rationalize it, it's just so frustrating. But I thought Jude Law is pretty fucking sweet in this movie. I haven't seen a ton of Jude Law stuff. He's always been out there, but I've never seen a performance I'm like, man, Jude Law is great. But I thought he was pretty solid in this one. And it was just I just had a good time with it, other than, the white supremacy that I'm not a fan of. I went on record, not a fan of it. But I give it a B, maybe even a B+, but I'll go B. I wouldn't say it's you gotta see this, but if you like Hell or High Water, Wind River, that kind of the town, that kind of that stuff, I think this might be right up your alley.
All right, cool. Yeah. What's it on now? Is it Max or?
I watched it on Hulu.
Okay. Yeah, I think.
Nick, what did you think about this movie?
It's been a while since I've seen this movie. I had to hear you talking about it for a second to even remind me that I've seen it, but I also like it, and I also would recommend it to fans of every film you just said. If you like heist movies, you like crime movies, I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's one that you need to revisit a ton, but everybody in it is good. Am I tripping, or is Zoe Kravitz in this movie?
No, it's Journey Smollett.
Smollett.
Smollett, Jerry Smollett.
Okay.
So I'm thinking of the Dave Chappelle bit where he calls him Juicy Smoulier.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I liked everybody in it. I like this kind of movie. I'm a big fan of this kind of movie. So, yeah, I like this movie. It's good.
Well, Nick, why don't you tell us about a terrible movie I saw?
I did see Hurry Up Tomorrow. Well, okay, so you can cut all this too if you want to afterwards. I'll just say, and I feel like I've gone down this rabbit hole with Steve before, like drinking and stuff, but like I am a fan of The Weeknd, specifically his stuff when his earlier stuff, his earlier career, earlier output, to even like middle output. But in the last like 3 or 4 years, I have definitely fallen off. So maybe this would have, maybe Hurry Up Tomorrow would have vibed with me more if I had kept up with him a little bit more. Because I do think that it references a lot of stuff that's actually happened with him. But that's the thing. This movie is for diehard Weeknd fans, and even them, I don't know how much they'll love.
Do they have a name? Like fans of The Weeknd?
Oh yeah. Just like EXO, like EXO fans, because it's like EXO is like his. It was. I don't hear him talk about it that much anymore. But when he first started out, like EXO was his thing. Like
okay.
Yep.
All right.
Anyway, but I don't know if there's really like a fan term. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on this movie.
Yeah, give me the basic gist of it, because I don't really know what it's about.
Yeah, and that was the thing. The trailers for this movie don't give you much. You don't really know what you're getting into. I expected like a Misery type thing. I expected he's a big pop idol, maybe playing himself, which he is, which I didn't know for sure until I saw it. He is playing himself. I expected he gets like kidnapped by Jenna Ortega, mega super fan or something, and she tortures them, and it goes from there. That kind of happens, but at the same time, like there's not a whole lot of plot. Like this movie is like it's like things that he went through in his head when he's deciding like I don't want to be The Weeknd anymore, and like I don't know. It's like I posted a review of it and I kind of said like it's good for his therapist maybe. Like we already got or his music, and we already got a whole album called Hurry Up Tomorrow, and it's already delves into all this stuff. So I don't know if we needed kind of like this visual companion piece.
Is there a lot of like it's so hard to be me and woe is me, my life is
No.
Okay.
There's not really a whole lot of anything. Like I may have missed something, but like Jenna Ortega's character, she like sets fire to a house when you first see her, and then she ends up at his concert, and then he sees her, and he's going through a lot of like he has like an ex or something that like he is not talking to him, and it's driving him crazy, and he's going through some stuff, and then he's performing, and he sees her in the crowd, and then while he is having his little meltdown and he wants to leave and escape everything, he comes across her behind the backstage, takes her with him. They have a really fun night, like doing like it wasn't Coney Island, but like a Coney Island type situation, you know, one of those things where you can go into theme parks, get cotton candy and shit like that. I don't know. Have a good night together. You don't actually see them bang or anything, but I guess maybe you're left to think that maybe they did. Okay. I don't know. Anyway, wakes up next day and he's like, and this is probably the only scene of the whole movie that I actually kind of liked, because I didn't watch The Idol, but I saw clips, and I can already tell that Abel is not an actor.
Yeah.
He's not an actor. It's not like Drake, where I think, like Aubrey, like that guy, he can act, because he started in acting.
Yeah.
This guy, Abel's not an actor. But anyway.
That's why I felt like it was maybe an egocentric project of like, I want everything, and I want everybody to see how good I am at music and acting, and this isn't just a movie. This is a film. You know, like...
Okay, so, again... I'll say this again. You feel free to cut as much of it as you want. But I can say a lot about this movie just from what I do know about him. And I do know that he is brilliant in the film. Kubrick. He is a big film guy. So I could see, and I don't know the director of this movie, but I do think he's done some respectable things. I didn't look into it. But I do think, like, he just had a lot of ideas. He has a love for film. He tried to put it into this movie. But when there's not a lot of substance, and it's just a lot of style, and it's a lot of, like, here's shots, and cinematography, reminds me of things that I love in film and other movies. But really, all there is to this movie is just like, there's really not that much plot. Like I said, they wake up the next day. She takes him. He tries to leave, and it's probably the only scene in the whole movie that I really kind of liked, where he's just telling her, and because I always think about this stuff with like artists, especially big artists. I mean, so something I always think about with like artists is like big, especially big hip hop artists and stuff, is just like what it's like to be a person that like, especially like a girl or something, like spends a night with them. I know they have to sign like non-disclosure agreements and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, I like this scene just because it felt real, and it was like her freaking out that he needed to go, and he's like, chill out, I gotta go back on tour, I'm like a big artist, like, we had a good night, relax. That's probably the only scene that I kind of liked, and I keep seeing that shared around as like a joking meme of his acting, but that was probably the only scene that I actually liked.
I think I've seen bits of that, and I thought it was more clowning on her, like, oh, you think he's bad? Jenna Ortega is even worse.
No, it's just like his delivery of like, shut the fuck up, like the way he says it, but like the way he says it to me, I don't know. That scene, one of the only scenes where like, oh, I kind of see where this movie's going, and I think I kind of am gonna like where it's going. But no, it's just so many meandering like sequences of him in like a dreamlike state, and it's just like so much is left up to interpretation, and all that I interpret from it, and it seems like most people, is just like, it's just stuff that he's going through mentally when he's deciding what to do next in his career and life. And you know what? Like I said, save that for your therapist.
Yeah, work through
that for your music.
Yeah.
You already did an album called Hurry Up Tomorrow. And it was just crazy. And I'll finish by saying this. I went to the first show of this movie at our local theater. The first available show other than like Thursday night previews, which I reserved for Final Destination. But I went to the first Friday show of this, and I thought I was by myself the whole time, but there was an old man in there, but I never heard him make a peep. But yeah, one other person in there. Opening day, first show.
They didn't advertise this. I saw trailers in theaters, but I saw nothing for this on social media.
It's a nothing movie. It's just it's just a artsy kind of like passion project, and it should have just been like an album visualizer or something on YouTube, and people wouldn't have hated on it so much. I mean, if he had done The Idol and just blown up, he'd done The Idol, everybody's like, "Whoa, this guy's a talent." I could see, but I'm actually surprised, especially seeing the final product of this movie, that this movie got a wide release in theaters against other things that are coming out and playing currently. No one's going to see this movie.
Did he self-fund it? Because
no, I don't think so. It's not directed by him. He's just in it.
Huh.
There's good talent in it. Jenna Ortega is in it. She's committing to her role.
Isn't Jesse Plemons?
No.
Barry Keoghan is in it.
That other ugly dude.
He's fine. He plays like his manager friend that he grew up with. And like I said, Jenna Ortega, I believe, is meant to be a character that doesn't really exist. It's like represents his psyche or something. I live it like,
but there's no rug pull at the end where she doesn't exist or anything like that.
No, it's all left up to yourself, which sometimes I like. Some of my favorite things are things where you really have to interpret yourself, but this was not one of them. Steve wants to say a word too.
It's not a telephone. You don't have to. No one's listening on the other side. Okay, Mom. All right, here's Dad.
No, I just think it's interesting that in the kind of the past year or so, and more so recently, because we have this movie from the Weeknd. We have the trailer that dropped for Logic's new movie, which I think you said you haven't seen yet, but it's kind of like a Clerks vibe kind of thing.
Oh.
And then last year we had a trailer for a movie. I don't even know if it actually exists, of Donald Glover's Bando Stone in the New World, where like it looked like some weird sci-fi thing in Hawaii, but I don't know if that was just like a teaser for the album that came out with the same name. Because I went on IMDb just now to look it up, and it says like his movie's in production, but I don't know if that's true. Anyway, it's just interesting to see. Here's 3 musical artists, arguably in the same genre, making their own films, because it's clear they're all big film fans, but it's like, here's the Weeknd who's into like weird like mind game sort of horror shit. Then Logic's like, oh well, I'm a big nerd, so I'm gonna make nerdy movies, but I'm gonna, like, he doesn't, I think, try too hard. He just keeps it in his wheelhouse. It might be mediocre, but like he knows what he's doing, and I think it just looks okay. And then here's someone who like seemingly like Donald Glover, who everything he touches, like, you like him or not, he makes good shit.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to see these three guys kind of come up at the same time, doing very similar things, but staying in their lane, but it's like terrible, mediocre, and good. I mean, I hope the other two make great stuff. Good for them. But, step your game up, I guess is all I'm saying. It's interesting to see these musical artists transitioning to film.
I heard this was this year's Megalopolis. The self-indulgent, project that is just absolute shit.
I didn't see Megalopolis, but hearing Steve's like take on it, I would say like it's weird with like Donald Glover with like Community and stuff. I feel like he is an actor, so like a lot of his stuff works. Atlanta is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in that thing he did with Rihanna is good. That little like
Schwab Island.
Yeah, like I really,
Mr. and Mrs. Smith was actually really solid.
Yeah, I mean he's like Abel. I think this is his like. Look, I love movies. I love film. I'm gonna dip my toe in it and see how everybody feels. And I bet you he's seeing the response. He's just like, oh my god, I thought I was because there's moments in this movie where it's like you can tell they think that they've edited this artsy, beautiful sequence, and it's just like. I'm checking my watch. I'm like, how long are we meandering on this scene? Like, move on already. And I am a Weeknd fan. I do understand a lot of the references. I do, like, there's a scene with Jenna Ortega where she's, like, got him tied down. And that's, like, the scene. And she's like, that's, like, the scene that you see. Like, because that's what, ask me what you took away from the trailer of this movie.
Lights and flashes and swirls.
And then some sort of misery type thing at the end. That's the...
I didn't, like, I don't
because he's
remember
tied up
seeing
in the trailer.
faces of people. I just remember images.
But he's tied up at the end of the trailer,
okay.
and she says something to him, and he's like, what the fuck is that? Or, So in my mind, it was just like a bunch of style and like a misery type thing. And that's what I was expecting. And to some degree it is that, but she doesn't possibly exist. Whatever. But like, I don't even know where I'm going with this. All I'll say is skip it. Even if you're a diehard Weeknd fan, skip it. I respect his love for film. I respect his attempt. This should have been a YouTube visualizer. That's what I'll say.
Got anything else to add to that? Longest segment of the night.
You can cut that.
No, that's fine.
Or cut a lot of it up.
All right. So the big release of the week, it was Final Destination Bloodlines, the 6th Final Destination movie. It's been like 10 years since the last one. So always will be happy to watch a new Final Destination. It's just made because it's IP and they haven't made one in a while, and why not just like beat any dead horse? But I'd say I really enjoyed this one. I don't think it's pretty middle of the road when it comes to, I think, Final Destination movies, but I had a good time the entire time.
Yeah.
Well, Steve's not going to talk, so you could keep just right next to him.
Fair enough.
I might have questions, but
Okay.
you guys take the...
See, like your voice picks up from there, from him holding it, picks up just as loud as mine is. You, up in the shit, you
Not
barely
as much.
register.
Because I'm a fucking man.
Got that bassy voice. I also did really have a good time with it. My biggest takeaway is I don't think that, and you'll have to refresh me on some of them probably, but I think a lot of the deaths didn't, like nothing stood out to me quite as much or was as memorable as certain ones. I mean, like we said, this is the 6th. There's been 5 prior, and I remember a lot of those deaths, and I'm thinking back on these, and I just saw this movie like 2 days ago, and I'm like, what were all the deaths?
I feel like these deaths are... They're good because they are very graphic and are
quick,
willing
too.
to show you stuff. There's not as much of the Rube Goldberg sort of this causes this, which causes this, which causes this.
I noticed
It's
that
more
too.
like A, B, death.
Yeah.
It's relatively quick compared to some of them. And there's not a lot of fake outs.
Well, there's still fake outs.
There are, but it seemed like they were getting to that a lot, especially like in 5 with the gymnastics. You think the water dripping is going to hit the electrical thing, and then it doesn't. Someone just throws a towel on it.
I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like there were some fake outs in this one that weren't like, oh, this is the chain of events that's happening right now that's leading to this death. oh wait, no, we're actually going to go this route. There was some where it was like, oh, we're building to a death. Oh no, this person's not going to die right now or something, or they're not going to die.
Well, the whole tattoo piercing one, you think they do this whole thing to get him all wrapped up into the fan,
And it wasn't
and
that.
then he didn't die.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And it's like, well, if he's not part of the chain, because we find out
That
he's
was
not
so
part of
weird.
the bloodline, this should not have happened to him.
Yeah, that was such a weird. And then like, no, I'm good. I survived.
I'm fine.
I was like, okay, I guess we're just moving on from that. But
Yeah.
I guess I try to explain it later. But still, it's just.
But
like,
I think there's some funny ones where like the just the lead being able to go like, I know Death's plan. I can see it. Like, shut the fuck up. You're guessing on a lot of stuff. But she was right when she's like, well, this saw is gonna fall over, and then the leaf blower is gonna blow it in front of the kids. The kids are gonna kick the soccer ball in your face, and you die. And they're like, "Shut up! That isn't gonna happen." Then it happens to the sister, and she gets put into the trash can, and then dumped into the thing, and then gets crushed right on her face. And it's they have some pretty gnarly deaths in this.
Yeah.
I think probably the best one is the MRI machine, where he gets pulled in, stomach first, with a wheelchair pushing through him. All of his piercings come off. It's like ears, nose, nipples, and then his dick.
Yeah,
And
it's like, oh, we mess with you in the trailer, and this is how he dies, and then we mess with you. Well, we're gonna give you a great death
Even
for him.
worse,
He
yeah.
is gonna die,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be like this. Yeah, that was good. Anytime somebody gets like bent or folded, or something, I'm always like rubbing my hands together like a sicko.
And I don't know if you caught this, but when the wheelchair is being pushed through his body, he has a big skull tattoo on his stomach, and then all the bars start popping out of it, and it looks just like the Final Destination 5 poster with all the skull and the rebar coming out.
I did notice, like, it did seem like they were trying to make a point of showing you that, like, effect, but I didn't really take that from it. But okay, cool.
Yeah. I think that's probably my favorite death. And do you remember in the trailer, the main character's mom, who is now back in the picture, there's a shot in the trailer of her getting stuck in the revolving door in the hospital. Like, it gets caught right on her neck. And then that doesn't happen at all. And I wonder if that was going to be they save her in the nick of time, or if she was going to die there and they decided to change the third act in a certain way. But yeah, that wasn't in the trailer.
I would like to know that too. You guys know I avoid a lot of trailers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I didn't see a ton of trailers for this movie. I just
really?
I mean, they'll be on, but I'll be sitting there on my phone because it's like I'm gonna see this either way. So, but yeah, I mean, I feel like, yeah, like you said, I felt like it was kind of cringy or silly at times when they're like they're looking around and they're going over the rules of death, and it's like, oh, it's about to happen right now.
Yeah.
Like just the way they're like, like looking around the room. I don't know.
It feels like they have seen the Final Destination movie.
Yeah, it almost does. And I'm like, but it's still fun. I'm a little surprised to see it has like a 94, 95%.
I think that's more nostalgia than anything.
It could be, yeah. It's just like the most highly rated of any of them, and in my opinion, I'd have to rewatch them, and I wish I had, maybe, but yeah, I don't think it's in my top of this franchise.
I think it's better than The Final Destination, and I'd say it's about on par with 5, because I think 5 and this one both have really good opening premonitions.
Yeah.
They each have...
Not this one...
You didn't like this one?
Okay, no. I did, but like something about them not noticing like the glass cracking under them.
Yeah.
It just seems silly to me. It's just like, are you guys not noticing this?
It's
I don't know.
60s. They're all dumb. Or the 50s or the 40s. I don't know. They don't specifically say what state they're in or what time it is.
Yeah. No, I mean, I still liked it. And it's like how, like, thinking back on everything that they've done as far as like big disasters, I don't know that I have a better, premise for an opening.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. I guess I was hoping for... I don't know, we've seen like bridges, we've seen roller coasters, and for this it was just like, I guess it was like a building structure, but
and it was a unique building, and it wasn't just falling to their death. That piano took that woman out and then landed on that little fuckhead kid at the end. Fuck that kid. Like they splatter this like 10-year-old boy. It's great.
The penny shit was making me laugh a little bit. They're obsessed with this fucking penny, and a lot of it was just so silly. eye roll inducing almost, but it is it's a silly, goofy, fun horror movie, and I think if you're okay with that, and you can not necessarily turn your brain off, but just like be okay with that tone.
Yeah,
it doesn't deviate from any of the other ones in that it's the same tone, it's the same fun. I had a good time with it. I hope they keep going with them.
Yeah, and like I don't think they need to add more to the gimmick. Like this one has the family lineage. Oh, we saved, and also it's one of the only ones where when she has the prediction, she saves everybody. Like nobody dies in that tower where normally they get off and everybody else still dies. The disaster still happens. She actually saved everybody, so it created tons of family lines that shouldn't have existed. I think that's a really fun premise. But I don't.
It really paints death as like a petty.
I know.
Like, get over it, dude. You're going down their whole lineage.
Yeah,
like,
and
everyone.
And it takes him this much time. He's like like, I'm so fucking behind on all these deaths. Like, you're dead. Can't you just swoop in and just take them all out? Like he's waiting generations for it.
And like I always pick, and this isn't even this movie specifically. This is the franchise in general. But it's just like, can't you just like ghost like spirit? Like transform into a building or something and kill him with a sickle. Why do you have to like set up these whole like
I gotta slowly unscrew
marble
this
falls
ring.
down a car ramp and like I don't know, but I love it.
And maybe Death is just having fun. Like
he's having a blast.
He does this every once in a while. He's like, oh, normally I just take them when it's their time to go. If I cause this premonition thing, I get to take them in really cool ways. Watch this. Drops a marble on the ground and see how it goes.
I'm picturing Death like curly, like the mascot of like the 90s like Goosebumps. Like he's got like he's like a skeleton with like he wears sunglasses. I don't know. Like I'm just when I see this movie, I feel like Death just has too much time on his hands and he's having too much fun. Just kill him already. But I had a fun time with it.
I'll wait through you guys.
R.I.P. Tony Todd looking
so
sick in this. It's
sickly.
He's a skeleton. It's really sad. And I thought there was going to be like a mid-credit scene where he finally dies because, you know, he's the last one on the list. The woman who had the premonition, Steve, saves this little boy that was on it. And after everybody else who was supposed to die, he's the last one. And so I thought there would be him, because he like retires from doing mortuary stuff. I thought we'd see him on a dock and he'd be like, finally, retirement. And then, you know, and a piano falls out of the sky and smashes them, you know, something really crazy. And I could see them, if he was still alive, they maybe would have done that. But like, nah, the dude's dead. We just did an R.I.P. Tony Todd 2 seconds before this. That'd be kind of fucked up if we actually killed him on screen.
Yeah, that'd be kind of like when we went and saw John Wick 4 together and they shoot Lance Reddick and he died like 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
Like, this still... Yeah. I know it's too late to edit it out, but it seems in bad taste. So like, I know it's just a movie that has no real effect, but it's like, oh, God, bummer.
And then now, in a couple of weeks, he's back again. You know, we're going to see him in Ballerina.
Oh, yeah. So I only have 2 questions.
Sure.
One, I've only seen the first 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
I assume there's no real lore in terms of... We never understand why these random people have these premonitions, correct?
That's the one thing they've never...
And we never see death, and we never understand why it has to be this way. It's just... Death didn't get us, so now we're all going to die in weird, fucked up ways, because that's the movie. Okay.
Yep.
Answers that question. Question 2. You guys have seen all these movies. If you had to choose a way for death to kill you, which way you choose it? I'm not talking about like, I'm on the plane and I just didn't get off. Like, that's just an instant death thing. I'm talking about like
the individual
terrible deaths. Which one would you pick?
Out
of all the movies, I assume, and I only remember like seconds of all the movies. I'm gonna go with the bus hitting me as I'm like standing in the street, going like, guys, we gotta do something.
Yeah, and they do another fake out of that in this one where he's walking backwards down the driveway, like talking in the street. Everybody does. You know, garbage truck zips by him. Whoa, almost got him. And then you think they're gonna do it coming from the other way, but it just doesn't. And then the scene just goes on. So it's pretty clever.
Just gets killed by a bike messenger going by.
Yeah, I guess the bus would probably be the best one. It's quick.
Yeah.
You know, there's one where like a woman gets a rock right through her eye. I'm assuming that also went through her brain. As long as it's not the laser eye,
Oof.
that one's really bad. Oh no, the worst one I think is in the Final Destination. An escalator like rips open, and so all the gears are just still going, and her legs get caught and just like it's gnarly. It's the worst movie, but it has one of the most fucked up deaths. Oh, the guy in the pool like gets his butt sucked. I want to go that way.
I don't have an answer.
Definitely how you're choosing to go there.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for one I would prefer, but I know it's not that one.
Yeah.
I know it's not the jacuzzi innards sucking one.
Yeah. Your voice picked up better right there than it is straight on. It must be something about the side.
Could be.
Anywho. Yeah, probably like not the guy choking in the first one when he's slipping in the bathtub and he's hanging himself. Oh no, Sean William Scott. He gets his head cut off by a piece of metal that just gets kicked up. That's got to be nice and quick. Yeah.
Anything quick.
So you guys giving this a B minus?
I gave it a B minus. You know, I think
I
a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, somewhere for me, I use a 10 scale. I think I'd give like a 7 or 7.5, just for fun. You know,
it's just a fun movie. They're Final Destinations are the perfect have on in the background movies. Because you could just do whatever, and then you go, oh, here's the log truck scene. And then you stop, you watch for a minute, and then go back, and they're bitching and moaning and crying about stuff. And then you just, oh, wait, that kid's going to get hit by a plate glass window falling on him. Sweet. I know you said you didn't have any idea for the next one, but, like, let's pitch a Final Destination, like, good opening scene. One, I don't want it to be a teen. It's always a young teen, sexy person who has the premonition. I'd like it to be someone, like, older, because this movie ends with a train derailment that kills our final two with some logs. You got to throw that in because everybody loves the logs.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that.
I can see that train derailment being the opener of the next one.
Okay.
For Unbreakable.
Oh, and it would have been nice. Like, it's an old train guy. He's been doing it for years, and then one day he has this premonition and freaks out. Gets off of it, and now the train company's all suspicious about what's going on. You've been doing this for 40 years. You've never been scared of anything. And like, just to change it up a little bit. Just like for Smile 3, I don't want it to just be like another younger woman. I'd like an old grizzled man on an oil rig, you know, something like that. Just something very, very different.
Okay, so all these movies have taken place in America, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so my pitch is that we go outside of America. It's a group of people who are on vacation. I'm probably thinking someplace tropical, vastly different from America, and they get killed in way more interesting ways of maybe something with animals in the jungle.
I was just thinking
or
animals,
like some locals. It's like, oh, I'm going to eat this like really interesting dish that everyone always talks about. Like, if I come to this country, I got to eat this. But because death is a petty bitch, like some hilarity ensues, and then there's a tapeworm in there, but it's like a super tapeworm, and it like pops out their eyeball, something crazy like that.
They did do allergies this time.
So the big inciting incident is they are on a like boat because they're doing some sort of excursion, and it's like, oh, we're gonna go looking for sharks or whatever, and scuba diving. You know, one person gets in the shark tank. There's an explosion from the oxygen tanks or whatever that sets the boat on fire. Everyone has to jump in. They all get eaten by sharks or whatever. One person gets incinerated in the blast.
Sure. One person's parasailing or whatever, and
one person is able to swim away but doesn't realize that their leg is tied to the boat, and so the boat is like going down, it's pulling them under, and they drown. And so that's the big thing, and I'm like, guys, we gotta get out the boat. And so they live, and now it's just like them in this country. It's like, oh, our passports got stolen in the hotel room, and then it just leads them on this wacky adventure where death is slowly getting. Their mission is like, if I can get on the plane, I can get back home or whatever. And then, of course, they get on the plane or whatever, and then that explodes or some bullshit like that. But let's take it out of America into a new setting, and it's a group on vacation or some school trip or something, and then we just have them getting killed in interesting new ways in a new setting. Maybe they go visit like an Aztec temple, and then they end up tripping down the stairs, and it's just like every bone is breaking on those. I mean, you're not allowed to climb them, but they'll figure out a way to do it.
They got some of the like in the first one, they're going to France, and that's the plane that blows up. and you do see them in France at the very end, and one person dies. But I wouldn't call that as like doing it in another country. And then you may not know, but 5 is actually a prequel. It's a secret prequel the whole time. And then that, it's the plane at the end. I was thinking Animals too. I like your idea. I would probably bump it to like a cruise ship.
Okay.
You could have a bigger disaster.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy things on a cruise ship to fall into and get impaled by. Still do the shark stuff because maybe they also have a shark excursion thing going on.
Yeah, there's a cruise ship that has those water slides, but then it snaps and the slide kind of pokes out to the ocean, and a group of kids just keep going out.
Absolutely, 100%. And then like when you said animals, I was thinking, what if it was a shitty zoo, and the elephant goes nuts, and they have gators and lions and stuff, and all the animals break out. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I feel like we've seen zoo attacks before. I think it could just be one of those things of, they're running from something and they go into the shop and it's it could be a pet store or whatever. And then, some Marble Rube Goldberg machine happens that like unleashes a snake that is the deadliest snake in our entire country. And of course, they just keep getting bit over and over again, or fall into a whole vat of them or whatever, that old shtick. But I think there's something there to mine. Not that I give a shit about this franchise. I'm just saying.
But you're a pitching man. You like pitching stuff. So.
I got ideas. I'm not saying they're good, but I got them.
All right. Well, let's get to the first of our 2 main topics.
We're like 4 hours in.
49 minutes in.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, it's not bad. All right. So our first one, we're going to talk about Blak Mirror Season 7. We got a whopping 6 episodes in this one. Couple of sequels, some spiritual stuff, a little more tie-in things, a little more connected than some of the other seasons. All in all, compared to other ones, how did you guys feel about this season? Because I thought this season was pretty good.
I am looking over the episode titles right now, just getting a refresher, because it was a little... I watched it as soon as it dropped, so it's been a little bit of time. But I remember liking it. I don't think it's my favorite season, though.
I think it's better than Season 5. Season 5 was the one that was just 3 striking vipers, Smithereens and Rachel Jack and Ashley 2, the Miley Cyrus one. Okay. I think all 3 of those are just so middle of the road. I remember after watching Season 7 going, it's not my favorite. But looking back on it, like, no, those were really good too. And I feel the same about Season 7. There is only one episode in this that I really don't like, and it's the one you didn't finish. The guy with the
plaything.
Yeah, the plaything.
Okay.
I think that one is awful. I think one of my least favorite of the entire series, because it gets to a point at the end where you go, all right, now we're getting started, and then it's over. The buildup just, I don't think, is justified for the lack of payoff.
Okay. I'm going to finish it, and I'll probably just restart it, honestly. But that'll be the only one of all of them. I'm looking over them right now. That'll probably be the only one that I... But
and that's the only one that's connected to Bandersnatch. And speaking of, you guys want to do Bandersnatch, better do it now because it's going to be gone in like a day. Permanently taken off Netflix.
Do you want me to talk about physical media for the next 7 hours? Because I'll go down that route because I've seen that too. And it's just like, oh my God.
Lost to time completely.
Lost media. Added to the pile of lost media.
Let's just go one by one.
Okay.
So episode 1 of this season was called Common People.
What if healthcare was subscription?
Yeah. A married couple, his wife almost dies, and her brain is essentially mush or whatever, and they're like, well...
Cloned and replaced.
Yeah, we can fix your wife, and she'll be the same, but it's going to cost you an arm and a leg, and if you pay a monthly subscription, your wife gets...
$500 a month?
It was $500 a month, and then if you wanted like no ads, it was $800 a month, and then if you wanted Premium Plus or whatever, it was like $1,200 a month.
And the ads was crazy. It was like she's speaking
horrifying.
Like,
this is the episode that I thought was the scariest of some of the Black Mirrors in general.
Felt the most plausible. Because we're treating everything as a subscription service now.
This is the only episode this season that like made me angry because of, like you said, you could just kind of see it happen, being a thing where like, oh, we can't travel because it's out of our network because my wife's brain's connected to Wi-Fi towers and shit. I really like this episode. It bummed me the fuck out though.
Yeah.
I like these. It's interesting to see two generally comedy actors be in this role and just run through the fucking ringer, and the bit of him having to go on Dummy Dumbs
yeah,
website where he's just like, because I can see that too of just like, oh yeah, this is a website where you can watch people drink piss for money and stuff. It's just.
And was that like? Did he do butt stuff?
100% he did butt stuff.
That's 100%. That's what that was. Okay.
Because his construction buddies clearly are making. It's like, dude, we watched you finger blast your butthole on the internet. You're a weirdo.
You would think he would at least get 2 months worth of subscription for his wife for doing stuff like that, but it seemed like he was getting bullshit.
I mean, if you're just starting out, it might just be like you have to build your audience.
And he's just a middle-aged white man. Like, he's not attractive or anything. So.
Yeah, but I think that's the appeal for the people is like, it doesn't matter how you look. How could you debase yourself the most? How pathetic can you be?
Basically, I think everything in this episode should be illegal, and it really bummed me the fuck out. Yeah. So, but I liked it as a concept.
Yeah, okay. One of the better ones.
Me too.
Episode 2. Bete Noir. I'm not sure.
It's just Bete Noir.
Bete Noir. This is a woman runs into an old high school acquaintance, and she claims that this woman is a little weird, and then they end up working in the same building, and then she believes this woman is crazy and trying to ruin her life, and none of her coworkers believe her, and they're like, there's a lot of weird coincidences.
What if gaslighting can become a reality?
Yeah, and so you find out that this woman who was a computer genius in high school built a machine that lets you
jump from dimension to dimension,
alter reality by just speaking it into reality. Honestly, I think this is the episode I liked the least this season.
This one's awesome.
I think the mystery was fun, and then it got to the end, and the end I hated.
Turned into like a Rick and Morty
it just figuring out how this all played, I was very intrigued, especially when it got to the part where it was, I have a peanut allergy, and they're like,
what's an anthology?
What's an anthology? Why do you keep saying anthology? It's like,
Anthology! It's like, what does that mean?
So that was the strangest bit where I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And I was really invested. And then I was just like, oh yeah, I'm so smart. I invented this thing, and I became queen of the universe at one point, which would have been fine if the woman just went to prison or died or went to an asylum. It's like, they don't believe me, even though it's true. Or she's just like, it's kind of like it's a white bear thing where it's like, I'm going to torture you over and over again for making fun of me as when we were kids. I would have been fine with that. But then she is able to defeat her, and now she has it, and they're like, I'm going to be queen of the universe. And then it just ends. I hate the fucking ending of this. I didn't like it. The episode, I just wish I had a different ending. And then I would have been like, I really like this episode. But this is my least favorite episode because of the ending.
I get that. But I think it's just so fun and weird and out there. It's the most unrealistic out of everything in this season, but I don't know. I dug it.
Okay. Nick, cool. Episode 3, Hotel Reverie.
This one was the most frustrating episode for me.
It took me 2 or 3 days to finish this episode just because I kept going and I was tuning out, and then I had to jump back in.
I really love this episode, but I think okay, so give the synopsis of what this is about.
So a famous actress is hired to kind of star in an older movie from a studio that's failing. So they have this new technology that will put modern day actors in classic films and kind of update them for modern audiences. And so we have Issa Rae, and she basically puts on the like little, Mentos that gets put on everyone's head in every Blak Mirror episode. And she's able to jump into this movie that AI has generated like a real living world, so she can interact with these people, and they all have they interact with her. So whatever she says, it doesn't their goal is to go from the script. But if you go off script, you can sort of readjust and get back on track in the movie. But if you go too far off script, now the movie's changed dramatically. How do you fix that? And then circumstances happen that make things go out of control. I thought this episode was going to be the one I liked the most. That we would all like the most because it's not necessarily a horror show.
San Junipero-y.
It's San Junipero-y. It's about movies. We love movies. But I thought this one was just like kind of boring and like took too long to get to where it was going. Like the ending I thought was cute, but I don't know, something about this didn't work for me. I liked it in general, but I wouldn't say I love this episode.
I don't like that. This is what you do with this technology. Like, you have to create living AI in order for this to work. And who wants to watch this?
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if this technology is you wear it, you live the movies you want to, and have it play out the way you want to because they are AI. You don't like that ending? You change it, and you can do it whatever you want to do. But no, we have to have this living AI, but you got to follow the script exactly. Then why are they even conscious of that? They should just be delivering exact lines. And they're like, we got to do this in one shot. We can't do, cuts or anything. And then it's just like the framework of how they are using this technology, it only exists to make there be a problem later. Like, they created the problem first and figured out how to get them in that one. And I know they are running out of time with the studio and everything, but they say, hey, did you watch the thing? Oh, I didn't get the stick. Whatever, just do it anyways. Like, they're so blasé about this very important technology that could trap her inside and kill her. And they're just like, yada, 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 whatever, you'll be fine. Like, everybody was so stupid in this that it really infuriated me. But I really liked the team. They were like controlling a rocket ship. All their techno babble and levers they're pulling and everything. It was like the most important guided nuclear strike ever, but it was just making a movie. I thought that was pretty fun, and I like the idea of this AI realizing that she's not the real her. There was a new natural living one out there that did bad stuff, and now she gets to relive this life, and then having that wiped away from her. I think there's some really good stuff in it, but the framework of how to get this story is so fucking stupid.
Fair enough. I agree with pretty much everything you said. I think it's just a missed opportunity episode. There was something here that could have made it one of the best Black Mirror episodes, but it just kind of fell short.
It's like, did they need it to be the cute romantic one? And if they stripped that out and had other drives for these characters, maybe it could have been more interesting. I don't know, but yeah.
I mean, I like the twist of once the AI realized that she was a real person, an actress, and you see her backstory of like she was a closeted woman because the time wouldn't allow for it, and then she fell into drugs and stuff and ended up killing herself or whatever it was, and then now it's her chance to kind of live again. I like that stuff, but it just fell flat to me.
Number 4, Plaything, the one I said I don't like. I think it's stupid. We don't need to talk about it if you don't want to. If you want to say anything,
I'll tell the folks what it's about. This is a sort of prequel to Bandersnatch, because Will Poulter reprised his role as tech dude whose name doesn't matter. But this takes place in the early days of video games, 8-bit video games, and this video game reviewer gets a chance to meet, I'm just going to call him Bandersnatch, and Will Poulter's character, and he's like, hey man, I got this new game, it's going to revolutionize the world, and he steals it, and it's just living...
It's a Tamagotchi.
Yeah, it's a Tamagotchi that is arguably real, but he's taken acid for 30 years, and adding... They want to come to the real world, and then long story short, he gets arrested, and it's all a ploy so he can...
infect the world
with these Google Gobbles or whatever they're called, and
Ghiblies, whatever they are.
Yeah. This episode was fine to me. I didn't dislike it as much as you guys, but I get why it wouldn't play well with a lot of other folks. I just thought it was just okay. I appreciated it was different, but it just. Yeah, it's just
and then what happens? What do the Googlies want to do? Are they killing all of us? Or are they farming all of our brains? It's a good start.
Yeah. And my thing is, the only thing I really want to talk about this episode, so Bandersnatch invents this game that I assume maybe this was his plan all along kind of thing, or whatever. But you made a game where the goal is to you interact with these things, you learn their language, you can feed them and grow their world or whatever. But then you also give them the power to this guy who sort of comes by every now and then, gets on my computer and just starts dropping rocks and starting fight. Like, why have those options at all?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's like, you can play it however you want. You want to rule them with fear, you can do that. But this one guy decided to be friends with them.
Yeah.
Bad.
So this is why you don't let lonely weirdos get access to power.
Number 5 is Eulogy, my favorite episode of this season.
This is also, well, I think it's the best episode.
That's what I said.
In like terms of just, you know what? Whatever. Let's talk about it. So Eulogy is Paul Giamatti gets a call about someone he used to know has died, and they're looking for someone to. They're gathering pictures and memories so they can use it at her funeral. And so they have this technology where if you put the little Mentos on the side of your head and you stare at a picture, you can kind of jump into that picture and sort of vaguely relive this memory in a more like AI fulfilled digital world. Like nothing's moving, but you're looking at one singular picture, but then now it's like a 360 thing of like your memory, which I thought was a really cool idea. And then it's just this guy telling the story about this woman he once loved and how they didn't quite work together. And then, a mystery kind of unfolds. And I really like this episode. Paul Giamatti's just great. He's great in everything.
Just so good.
And you find out that AI is actually his daughter, who's uploaded her consciousness into this thing.
Not his daughter, her daughter.
Well, her daughter, yeah. I'm sorry, the dead woman's daughter. And so she's like, I'm not your daughter, but I'm here to I'm making decisions that I know she would choose, whether to like not have this memory in her funeral or not.
And not have to experience the things her mom went through if they were traumatic. Like nobody knows what happened in a certain point of her mom's life because she was very secretive about it. And maybe there could have been something really fucked up in that she didn't want to. So force an AI to do it.
Yeah. And then you get to the end and he's just like, so angry because she's the one that got away and he lived a life of seemingly loneliness because she was the one. And then he finds this letter that he didn't know he had for the past 50 years that just said like, hey, I'm sorry that it happened this way, but if you still want to be together, meet me here on tomorrow. And he just never got that letter. And then his whole life changed. And it's like so heartbreaking. But then
and hearing him say like, oh, I wish I had a daughter like you or something like, oh, I didn't know she was pregnant. I would have helped raise you, not thinking that was ever an option. And then finding out he could have absolutely done that thing and had a completely different life. And it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah. I thought this episode was great.
Yeah. This is just a good use of technology that isn't just like scary, scary, scary. Like this could be something that,
I would love this technology.
Oh my God. I'd be looking at every picture I've ever seen in my life over again.
I mean, I have a terrible memory, so I would hope that it would generate something. But man, that'd be a ton of fun to sort of like jump back and go like, oh yeah, you could literally walk down memory lane. So A+ episode.
Yeah.
This is the San Junipero episode of the season.
Yeah.
Because the other one failed at it, but this one's like really, if you want to feel good about like love and life, this is the one for it.
It's not actually two women falling in love, but a story about love and loss.
That actually ends sweetly.
Yeah.
Bittersweet, I should say.
Last episode 6.
Nick, do you have anything to say about the past 3 episodes that we talked about?
Fucking speak up when he has something to say.
I mean, all I'll say is Eulogy is definitely my favorite episode of the season. It's the first one I watched, oddly enough. I didn't watch them in order. I just read their descriptions, and that was the one that I was like, that's the one I want to watch the most. And it probably is still my favorite for a lot of the reasons that you guys just said.
Also would make like a really fun stage play.
Yeah, and it's very simple.
Yeah.
And
I think recreating those photos on stage would be a
yeah.
really fun thing to do.
And it's relatable, I think, to everyone who is a human, especially as like we get older. It's just kind of like thinking of those connections lost and stuff, and something that's frustrating is like, what was it like? He got like too shitty or something that night.
He got really drunk.
And he just didn't see the note, and then they cleaned it. Or they cleaned
the room. They cleaned it, put it in a box, and he just put that box in the storage.
Yeah, I mean, that's some kind of like shit that I would think about. I'd
kill myself. I think the moment I turned that thing off or went to the funeral, I'd kill myself because like I was the dumb asshole that threw away absolutely what I wanted, and I had like information under my nose the entire time. I don't know if I could like handle that. It's one thing to be like, I lost this one and I never saw her again. That's fine, but to find out she wanted
we could have made it work.
We could have had all this wonderful stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't want to say brilliance, but like that's like the thing of the episode that makes it so good. I feel like you guys were saying too, like that's a cool technology. I would probably utilize that as well. I think a lot of people spend too much time like creeping on others on social media and stuff. And just imagine what you could do if you could go into their photos.
I'm thinking about it now.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But I've always said, and I agree with you guys that that's one of the technologies from Blak Mirror that I would utilize. But I've always said like the entire history of you or whatever, where like you can just play back everything that
all
you
your
saw.
Memories, everything.
That's what I want the most. But I'll take this too. This too.
I want that. So because when someone goes, I told you the red shirt, and like, absolutely fucking not. You did not. You said the blue shirt. Let's rewind this.
Exactly.
And it's like it would either boost my ego of being someone who always thinks they're right, or really humble me, and I think I need that. I either need to,
but yeah, I mean, you want to use it for asshole purposes, and I mean, I know it's like in your logic of it, it's like, well, I'm not being an asshole, I'm being right.
Yeah,
but it's it's to stroke your own ego too, though.
Well, I was just at Taco Bell last week, and I go in and I don't talk to them because no one's ever at the counter anymore. They want you to use the kiosk, so I just use my phone because I get the points. It's easy to do that. And I go up to the counter, and they're like, oh, did you have a mobile order? I'm like, yep. I'm like, we don't have one under that name. It's like, well, I just did it. And he pulls it up, and he's like, oh, you hit drive-through. And so it wouldn't show up in our system until you said something or whatever. I was like, I didn't click drive-through. I clicked in because that's what I do every single time. I eat here 17 days out of the week. I have the same method. And it's like, if I could replay that memory back to him and like, look, it must have been the system that fucked up or whatever, because watch me press eat in.
Why does that
okay,
matter? You're
sir.
gonna get your food either way.
But he was so fucking snotty about it. I'm just like, oh, you said drive through and now you decided to come in, and like I would have to use that power for evil.
Yeah.
That's what for every little bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I like the photo thing is I imagine like how much use you could get out of that in like therapy and emotional closure, and or just like, oh man, I'm feeling kind of down today. Let me go sort of like, not that you want to live in the past, but I just think it could be like this beautiful window to that thing where, and it's like you're talking about, oh well, I'm looking at Margot Robbie's picture. Let me jump into that. That's not how that works. It uses your brain. It's not generating.
That's true. I mean,
don't get me wrong. I imagine that technology would exist soon enough anyway.
You probably could go into it, but it's like you have the fidelity of just looking at a picture. But it's not like you can
really interact with anything.
No.
So that's what's nice. It's like, okay, yeah, Margot Robbie's here, but I can't like touch her.
Sure. But yeah, I mean, like, thinking of all the 80-year-old men who are alone and they pull out the picture of their wife when they were 20 before they went off to war and they're in their sexy lingerie or something, being able to go back to those moments and relive them would be very nice.
Yeah. So I want to use these technologies for good, and you guys want to use them for evil.
I don't want to say evil, for ego.
All right.
Episode 6, USS Callister, something or other.
Into Infinity, I believe.
And he uses the same Star Trek Into Darkness font on the thing, which is great.
This is the one where I was like, I could go either way on if this is my favorite or not. And I mean, I liked USS Callister just as much as anyone else. The first one, I didn't go back and rewatch it. I'm glad that they had like a little last time on whatever. But I thought this episode was a ton of fun. Yep. For an hour and a half, like I was never bored. I was never checked out. I think the actor's name is Jimmy Smits or something, who is
From Sunny?
From Sunny, yeah. Who plays the owner of the video game company. He's a fantastic asshole in this. He's so scummy. I love him. I mean, Kristen Milotti, fresh off of like Penguin fame, crushing in this episode. I thought this episode was just a ton of fun and a real blast, and like good visual effects. And if you want something if you're a fan of Star
Jimmy
Trek,
Simpson?
Jimmy Simpson, that's what it is. Thank you. If you're a fan of Star Trek and sci-fi and good times, I really enjoyed this episode. I love good times. Yeah, and just like how they brought Jesse Plemons back.
I mean, like everybody's
really
back
fun.
except for one character. I didn't notice it.
I didn't notice it either. I totally forgot.
But there's a woman that was in the first episode, but they mention her in this saying like that she died.
She died off screen. Yeah. I guess I should say what this episode about. So this is this the first ever like official sequel to a Blak Mirror episode? Like there's
there's
same universe stuff, but it's never been like
no actual.
So we resume where we left off. Essentially, the crew of the SSS Callister has escaped from the evil Jesse Plemons. Now they're in the actual game itself, and they're robbing users of their money because in order to live in this world, they need money to fuel their ship and buy weapons and all that good stuff.
Which is a fun little detail.
Yeah. And it's like, how do we get out of the game? And they're just digital clones. Like they can't go back into their bodies.
Yeah.
So like, what's the goal of this, their goal is to figure out a way to get somewhere so they can just be safe. So they figure out, if we go and create a pocket game that just is private for us, we can live in peace and just travel the universe and never have to worry about dying because if they die in the game, they essentially die in real life, even though they're
not connected.
They're digital clones.
Yeah.
But how they incorporated getting them together with their real life self, I thought was a ton of fun and really clever. And how they brought back Jesse Plemons' character, I thought was really fun. And just seeing him again, and he's like this sweet, innocent boy. And then you can see like the early stages like, he was always gonna be this disgusting person. It was just underlined by like being away from people. Yeah. But if he has any power at all, he will abuse it. And I'm glad every bad guy got their comeuppance. And even though it's like a great way to end this story, it still leaves it open for a USS Callister 3. Yeah. Do I think I need it? No.
Probably not.
But they could do it, and it could work. But I think for both these episodes play really well together, and I think it's the most fun Blak Mirror has ever gotten. So I really, really like this episode.
Yeah. And very convenient that they, the outside, Kristen Milotti, gets hit by a car and is brain dead. And then they're able to put her digital brain in. It's like very convenient, but whatever. It's sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything.
I mean, I don't have a ton to say about this episode myself, personally. I also liked it. I was a fan of the first one. I am a big Star Trek fan. But I don't think that does anything extra for me as far as like, just because I'm... Like, I like Star Trek. I like this more. I would almost say something like Galaxy Quest would be something that, being a fan of Star Trek, you would probably...
Or the Orville,
Sure. But, no, I still like both of these episodes, and I like this one a lot as well, but not my favorite of the season. But I guess there were only 7, right? 6 or 7? Yeah, so not much.
This one is tied for first with Eulogy and the first one.
Okay.
Ordinary People.
Okay. Yeah. So Eulogy is pretty...
they're all 8.1 on IMDb. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so all in all, I would say a good season. Not the strongest season, not the best season, but a good season. I think there's only one stinker in this. I enjoyed all of them for what they are, even if maybe some of them don't make as much sense as others.
Yeah, I mean, looking back at some of the other seasons, last season had an episode that was a 5.3. I'm one of the people who like that episode.
Is that the werewolf?
The werewolf one,
yeah. Werewolf Paparazzi? That one's great.
Season 5 had the Miley Cyrus one. That's 6.1.
That's bad. That whole season's bad.
From season 4, the lowest rated episode was Metalhead. I think I remember liking that one. It's been too long, though.
Also, that was directed by the guy who did Hard Candy and
David Slade.
David Slade. Yeah. He did a 1 or 2 episodes in this season too.
Season 3 is pretty much all bangers. All bangers, yeah.
1, 2,
I don't remember
3.
Men Against Fire too much.
Oh, that one. Yeah,
I know it's a soldier one. That's that's the lowest rated.
That's one of the. Is that the lowest rated one, or just of that season?
No, it's 7.5. It's actually solid. Season 2. only 4 episodes. The Waldo moment. That's
Yeah.
one I remember not liking.
Yeah, but you go back to it now and go, this makes perfect sense. This is happening. Like we kind of living through this.
And then season 1, it's 3 episodes, and all 3 of those are kind of like iconic episodes.
Ones, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they've never had a bad season. They just had...
Yes, they did. 5. 5 is a bad season. Striking Vipers is interesting, but...
I don't dislike Striking Vipers.
I don't dislike it, but it's not great. It's
and
just...
Smithereens, I thought was pretty good, if I remember correctly.
I think the one that people hate on, that I really liked, was Hated in the Nation, where, like, you could put on Twitter, who do you hate the most? And then, like, a little robot bee would go and kill that person. And then it was like there was a shitty dude on a reality show who's making fun of a kid. And so everybody voted that he was the worst person in the nation. And then someone was sending little robot bees to kill him and was doing it to some of these high profile people. Then they put it up, who do you think is the worst person? And everybody like put names in. But they did a switch on you. If you put someone's name in, it actually targeted you. And so it's like, you're actually the worst in the nation because you want someone to die. And then all the bees go out and kill a bunch of fuckers. It's a little longer of an episode, but...
I vaguely...
Oh, yeah. I don't remember that episode at all, but
yeah.
Hated in the Nation has an 8.4. It's tied with the second highest episode.
Oh, okay. Because I just hear people
3.
talking a lot of shit on that one. But...
Anywho.
Cool. All right, let's get to our last topic while we're still got time.
All right.
Love, Death, and Robots.
This one, I think we can talk less about.
Probably.
Each
Some
one.
of them are
There's not
quick.
much to talk about.
But, so season 4, 10 episodes. I think this is probably the best season of Love, Death, and Robots. I like pretty much every single one of these. I think they're all very strong, except the very first episode is absolute shit. Like, it doesn't even look that great. It's supposed to be marionettes, but it's still CG because they're still singing. And it's this old-ass band that no one gives a fuck about doing not even a new song. And it is a good way to start the show with a big musical number, because if this showed up anywhere else in this, it would have been like a full break, hard cut. So put it first, get it out of the way. I hate Red Hot Chili Peppers, so I'm a little biased, but like I got halfway through and went boop.
It's 6 minutes.
I don't care. I don't need to hear that big to bat the beat a boop boop.
You can't even keep it on while you scroll.
No, I didn't want to hear it. It was just like, that's enough of that. I know exactly.
So if you hate Red Hot Chili Peppers, yeah, skip this episode. I also kind of hated episode 1, but only because it was like, what's the point of this? Not because of the animation, not because of the band or I think if this was a music video, fantastic. I think it would have been like, this is a really cool fucking music video. And I think it looks good, whether it's real marionettes or CG, however you want. But I think it's David Fincher weirdly directed this. But I mean, David Fincher got his start directing music videos. I think it's
David Fincher directed this.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't look up any of the episodes of.
Either.
Wow.
Yeah, he directed this, and I think for a Love, Death, and Robots episode, it's a total fucking waste. But I mean, if you're just looking at the thing itself, I think it's fine. There's nothing, fine. But it's a great music video, a terrible episode of Love, Death, and Robots.
And if it was real marionettes, because like there's a live action episode in here, just like in season 1. Like if they did just the whole thing with actual marionettes, I'd be like, all right, there's talent there. But it's all just CGI anyway.
I think they do some fun stuff with the marionettes, but I agree. I think I probably would have preferred that, but whatever. I didn't hate it. It's just like, why does this exist? Episode 2, Close Encounters of the Mini Kind. This one was fun. Yeah, they did one with zombies before. It's kind of like far away tilt shift. Everything looks like miniatures. I love these episodes. I wish they did more of them. I really enjoyed it. And you get like a beginning, middle, and a whole story. The best part. When Love, Death, and Robots has a full story, those are the best episodes to me. Yes. When it's just a snippet of a story, I fucking hate them.
And that is the problem with this season. Every single story, or most of the stories, I'm like, all right, that was a good pitch for a longer movie or a series. I want more of that. And some of them just cut off a little early.
See, I think this might be my least favorite season of Love, Death, and Robots.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah, Close Encounters was fun. You see an alien invasion in miniature form, and how the humans fight back and eventually just destroy their galaxy.
Yep. And just like the cosmic look of seeing the Milky Way, just this tiny little, just turns dark, and how tiny and insignificant we are.
But I did like the idea of, how adaptable humans are. Like, here are these things with vastly way stronger technology than us. But it's like, if we take out one of them, then we can copy their cannon fire or whatever and then blast them back. And then they send out the War of the Worlds robots, and then we knock one of those down, and then now we have this. And it's this fun way of like, they fucking whooped our asses at the first part. But then we were able to fight back.
We should have had each other say their favorites before,
Oh, okay.
so we'd have known.
Well, I haven't gotten to my...
Well, if your favorite comes up, say, this is my favorite.
Oh,
right
yeah. So don't say your favorite when Steve goes over the description. At the end of him going over all of them, we'll say.
At the very, very end?
Yeah, like, because he's just...
I wonder if we could talk about it. It's like, I really like this one.
Sure, but you don't have to say it was your favorite.
I think we're going to figure it out.
After you say the title, if it's your favorite, say it's your favorite.
Yeah, I agree.
Fair. Well, okay.
So, episode 3, Spider Rose. Visually very cool looking, fun world. I loved her. In this one, like space arms dealer or something. Like gets a pet because she's lonely because her husband was murdered by this other guy, and this other guy shows up and they fight to the death.
Yep. Pretty simple.
Some very cool images in this. Very cool.
The pet eats her.
Yeah.
The pet does eat her. Yeah.
Transforms into like a...
Yeah, it like copies DNA of its owners, but like it serves no real purpose. I didn't care for this. Like, this episode was fine. I would love to see a full version of this, but it's just a snippet of a story. I loved her home base that looked like a spider web, and she called herself Spider Rose. I thought that was cool. I thought the action scenes were pretty fun. The alien was very adorable, but then she gets revenge. She kills the guy who had a bunch of clones of himself, so he could never really die. But then he brings his prime self. Just don't bring your prime self.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the idea.
I wanted to do it
myself, but you'd still be doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Whatever. So she's able to get her revenge and beat the bad guy, but she's like, "Oh, there's not enough oxygen. I'm gonna die. You can eat me now, pet." And the pet does, and then gets adopted by a new owner, which was the
original owner. It was that big alien thing.
Right.
Was who traded. Did you catch what name they gave the little guy?
I forget.
It was something like can see future profits. And it's because they were just a business race of aliens and making trades of stuff. So I think in the translation, its name was probably equal, something weird that we don't have. And it translates to us as is able to see profits or can see future profits. And so it's really weird.
All right. So that episode was just fine. Didn't really do much for me.
It after you have the bullshit at the beginning, the cute little one, you got to have the hyper realistic, scary sci-fi thing to really kind of get your juices flowing. And my juices flowed.
Episode 4, 400 Boys.
This one was fucking sweet. It's my favorite.
My second favorite.
This one is so fucking cool. It's let's take the Warriors and Attack on Titan.
And Mad Max.
Mad Max a little bit.
Especially when
and then a little bit of Push. Everybody's got powers,
Whenever we can bring up Push on this podcast.
We will. Yep.
400 Boys. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic London, we can assume, where small factions of remaining human survivors are they have their own territories, but they have to deal with these giant creatures who are just laying waste to the entire world. And we don't get a good look at them until later in the episode, where they're all we need to team up, and they have powers, but you never really understand how or why they have those powers. And then the monsters come out, and it's just giant fucking babies.
Scary babies
who are very into violence. And this episode was kind of gross too, because they're slicing off calves of babies, which made me cringe.
Oh, that switchblade when it went up the ankle.
And there's a really I can praise the animation in this episode a lot because it has such a unique look. But that scene right there where he uses the switchblade to chop the like calf muscle off. There's like a quick shot of like the giant baby like wincing in pain.
Yes.
It's just real quick, and it's just like, damn, that's effective.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't necessarily love this episode, but I loved its look, and I loved just the language that, like, the slang that they have in this, and it took me Slicka, yeah, like I don't know what this world is, but they just all seem so fucking cool.
That's the Mad Max I get.
Yeah,
Guzzling.
Yeah.
And like the one guy teams up with a guy who gave him a scar across his face. He's like, "Hey man, water on the bridge because we got a bigger problem."
Yeah.
And like the guy who looked like a nerd, he was real fucking cool and badass. Like
everyone just dodges that one shot.
Yeah, like everybody like this. If there's a cool episode, it's this one.
Yeah.
Because it just kind of oozes like charisma and awesomeness, but it's just a weird fucking episode. And also another episode that's just kind of like a snippet of a story. What's the bigger thing here?
I feel like the theme of this season is everyone going, I hope someone wants to pick this up for an ongoing series.
Episode 5, The Other Large Thing.
My favorite episode.
A cat played by Chris Parnell teams up with a robot and starts a revolution.
Voiced by John
Ferguson?
I think it's John Oliver.
Yeah. So this cat, it's a classic bit of cats thinking they're better than their human owners. And it's kind of like a pinky in the brain, like, I seek world domination for me and my people. And he uses this robot to, I don't know why they gave this robot access, like the ability to access the entire human grid. But this robot that's just meant to like do your dishes and clean your house, like the seemingly innocent robot is just like, yeah, this cat I can speak to, and this cat is making a lot of good points. Let me take over the world. This episode was fun. I like this one.
Yeah, this is one's my favorite because of how charmed I was. That cat was adorable, and those humans were the most disgusting animated humans I've ever seen in my life. They were nasty.
Great Americans.
Yeah, this one was just a lot of fun. This
is my second favorite episode.
And I would say from here on out, it's like all bangers. Every single one I think is so amazing.
Episode 6, Golgotha. This is my least favorite episode. I like Rise Darby. I like the actor who was also in this, Dwalin from the Hobbit movies. If you guys remember,
I was like, I wonder if Steve's going to mention
it. Like, I think I'd like to see this full-fledged movie of Rise Darby being a priest to like alien creatures who are like their god is a dolphin or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a fun concept here, but once again, it's just like a silly comedy scene that didn't really do anything for me. I think the visual of the ships coming out with the squid stuff, like very scary. Yeah. But it's just like, I don't care about this episode. Very unique
alien design with its suit and everything. But I like this one because it's a fun twist on just like Christianity. We go to some foreign country and tell them that they're wrong about whatever and that our religion is correct. And if you don't, we think your people slighted our God, so now we have the justification to destroy you. I like the spin on that.
Sure, fair enough. Nick, thoughts on this episode? Liked it, didn't like it?
Which one was this again? Sorry.
Rise Darby is the priest with the alien and the dolphin.
Oh yeah, real short, real quick. One of the shortest ones I think of the season. Especially because I think this was one where like the credits rolled and it still had like 3 minutes left. I was like, oh, this was 7 minutes long. But anyway, I like the last few seconds of it. I like the fact that a dolphin was like, hey, like, humans suck. Yeah. Just kill them all. Because it's kind of like...
As far as we know, we assume the alien knows how to talk to it. It could just be like with any religious figurehead going, oh, God spoke to me. Oh, it said you're all bad.
That's true. Yeah, a lot of questions too. Just like, why is he listening to a dolphin? Why is that whatever. It's fine. I have no major complaints. Definitely not my favorite.
Episode 7, The Screaming of a Tyrannosaur, starring Mr. Beast.
Was that Mr. Beast?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the hair guy thing?
Yeah, the announcer. I was like, did they do that? But is it...
It also looks like him, too.
Oh, it is his voice.
It is 100% his voice.
Okay, because it looked like him.
Yep.
And then I was like, well, this doesn't really sound like him. But then I realized I've never watched the Mr. Beast video, and I don't like looking at his face. So if I ever see him being interviewed, I just scroll past. So all right, pause 1 second. This one's fucking sweet too.
This one's fun. This is another one where it's like, once again, I wish there was
I want to play this game.
more to. Oh yeah. So in a far distant future where we have a colony near Europa or something, where the rich take humans and put them in a foot race against triceratops and dinosaurs and stuff, and they have to battle each other. And last one standing wins a prize, I guess. And there's some cool action sequences in this. It's about the have-nots going up against the haves and fighting the rich, because it's like, this whole thing is for like a wedding ceremony for rich people, and they like drink the blood of a dead triceratops at the end of this thing.
It was the T-Rex.
The T-Rex, yeah. But yeah, they bring out a T-Rex at the end, and then the T-Rex and triceratops fight.
Albino T-Rex.
Yeah, like so real scary stuff.
Real bloody.
Just a real fun action episode. Really cool looking designs and everything. Like them being like pretty much naked, but having this cool like paint, like body paint on them, like made them look real badass.
Covered all their bits.
And I liked the weapon of like a kind of
harpoon
gun thing. I don't know. This episode was really sweet looking and super cool. But once again, I just wish it was longer. I'm sure everyone who's watching Black Mirror is like, well, you're not getting the point, Steve. They're not supposed. It's like they're supposed to be snippets.
It is just a little snippet of the story. I get it, but like the
best ones have a full thing. Episode 8, How Zeke Got Religion. This episode is my favorite episode.
This is the best one, yeah.
Beginning, middle, end.
Beautiful animation.
Beautiful animation. I love a horrifying eldritch horror creature just brutally murdering these guys in disgusting ways.
On the most durable airplane in World War II.
Yeah, for real. So this one, classic story of a group of World War II soldiers who come across Nazis, once again, doing occult shit, who summon a being from another realm, and they have to fight off this creature from hell, seemingly. And it's very cool design, very scary, just its way of just like summoning hands everywhere.
Oh, and like they would shoot bullets, and all the bullet holes would turn into mouths and little tongues would come out.
Like it's
amazing.
Just really,
this is very Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, this episode was fun, horrifying, beautifully animated. You were invested in the crew, even though you knew nothing about them.
Yeah.
You had, your one character who's like, I'm not afraid of anything. And then, like, by the end, he's like, I believe in God. I've seen true horror.
That's what it takes. Like, people always ask me, like, oh, what would convince you that a God
being
says,
from hell?
I need something like that my crucifix kills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how they defeated him in terms of, like, they are able to hurt him with the cross, but it's like, I can use my gun to, like, push the cross into the thing and it explodes. Oh, just fucking sweet. This episode is
and some really
the best.
Great deaths of other people, like, just getting pulled through a doorway sideways. Every death was amazing.
Just all the hands, like, pulling the guy's face off and ripping his skin and head. Oh, disgusting. Yeah. This episode was fucking sweet.
This is amazing, yeah.
Yeah. I know that the face peeling was really good, and there's a lot of good deaths, but I really liked the leader of the mission, the red-eyed dude, who was just like, he's like mid-sentence, like, this is that thing or whatever, and then it just like impales him right through the face, and he's like, his whole body's like sitting on it for a second. Yeah, that was good. That was good. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite episode, followed by 400 Boys, but yeah, this was great.
Number 9 is Smart Appliances, Stupid Owners. I kind of forgot about this episode.
Yeah.
This one isn't a banger, but it has moments that I liked.
Yeah. This is a series of like Family Guy sketches, that kind of thing, or it's just like, remember that time we had that really smart toilet, Lois? And then cut to the smart toilet.
Yeah. It's taco night!
So there's some fun ideas in here, but it's not like... It's low-hanging fruit, I think. It's not saying anything deep, but if our appliances could talk, would be some of the shit they would say.
I think my favorite one is the waffle iron, going like, oh my god, I'm going to be a waffle virgin. that was a good one.
Episode 10, last episode of the season, For He Can Creep.
Another cat episode.
That's crazy
that they had 2 cat episodes.
I was thinking that too.
So... this is a story
and
of
another demon thing. Like you have Satan and a demon a couple episodes ago, 2 cats.
I focus on robots way too much in the title.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I'm watching the show, I'm just like, where's the technology? And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, it's love, death, and robots. But yeah.
And it's and robots, or love, death, and robots, not or.
Yeah.
So where's my goddamn robots?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So 18th century London, a poet who I guess is in jail or something like that, has a pet cat, and the devil wants this poet to write him a poem because he can use it to
steal his soul,
steal souls and stuff,
and then rule the world at the same time.
But the cat won't let him because cats are actually holy beings sent from heaven to protect Earth, and that's like why they were revered in Egypt, because they were used like in that regard, and now they're just everywhere. And so this cat has made it his mission to stop Satan himself from stealing his owner's soul, and teams up with a ragtag group of other cats, and one cat who's like really tiny and adorable has like extra superpowers,
ghost powers.
I don't know.
Moon Knight.
Yeah, I like this episode. This episode was fun.
Pretty cool because it's really uniquely animated.
I think just fun. How like I'm always up for like the devil showing up and stuff. I'm like, how's the devil like? What's his vibe in this one? So this one was just it was good fun. I thought it was going to be like you'd turn out to be Edgar Allan Poe. I know Edgar Allan Poe's from like Baltimore, but it'd be like someone of significance. But it's just like here's a random guy who, if he makes a deal with the devil, writes the best poem of all time, which seems silly. But
especially when the devil is like giving you notes.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, what's so special about him?
Why don't you just gonna write it? Yeah. So the logic of this episode is kind of weird, but I just had a good fun time with it.
Yeah. And a big fat gray cat I'm always a fan of.
Yeah. So for me, this might be the weakest season of Love, Death, and the Robots, but it's also been a long time since I've seen a lot of the episodes, so maybe I'm wrong. But
last season was pretty strong.
Yeah.
But it still had some not so great ones.
I mean, I think Bad Traveling.
Yeah, the Big Crab.
The Big Crab is my favorite, and then
I mean, like the Team Kill is fun. Like they all have moments. I like the
Zima Blue. I always really liked.
Jabaro was good, but like going back to
Good Hunting.
Season 1, 18 episodes. I'm surprised we didn't get those little robot guys back. You know, the 3 robots of different stages, and you know that they were like the mascots of this show. Maybe no one wanted to write that shit, or they were busy. You know, the original writers.
I know, but all in all, I enjoy this series, and I'd like to see it continue and see what other cool, fun ideas they have. It's nice that I can watch an entire series or season of a show in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I can always take a break or whatever because they're not connected in any real way. But if someone wants to make a full version of some of these, or at least how Zeke got religion, make a full episode of I mean, I don't know if you need to make a full movie of that, because what's it really going to be? But for a short, that's the best.
Him becoming Constantine or something, you know?
Yeah. If you're going to make a short, that's how you do it.
Yeah. I hope there are people out there who, or I mean, I guess it would have to be Netflix. And people couldn't buy the rights to these. I mean, maybe they can. I don't know. But hopefully Netflix is looking at this and like, are any of these can be developed into something else? Because this is a kind of just a great bullshit way of putting your feelers out there. What do the people like? And, we have ideas for 10 shows, but we don't know where we're going to put the millions of dollars. Well, let's just put a couple of little short pilots and let's let them vote and see what they like. I love the show, and I'll keep watching every season.
All right. What did you have me pitch earlier? Oh, pitch a Final Destination today.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a pitch for
Love, Death, and Robots?
Love, Death, and Robots episode?
Ooh. Oh, actually, I kind of do.
Okay.
I had this idea. I was thinking of the Star Trek.
It's called USS Callister, Ben. We just talked about.
No, you know how they have the room where you can say anything and play any game or watch any movie. You know what the holodeck is? That what it's called?
Sure.
Holodeck. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you can touch the things. Like it feels like real life. You know. I was thinking of a world that every home has a holodeck, but it's like government run. You could do whatever you want in this holodeck for 3 hours every 24-hour period. You want to kill people, you want to have a cute date with that celebrity, you want to play video games, you could do whatever you want. But you have to, like, since the government's in control, like, you have to have a job, you have to contribute in some way, because, like, people would be hooked on this thing. I don't need TV shows or anything, but at least 3 hours a day, I can do this one thing. And that was just, like, the basic premise of the government being able to control us in their own way. They give us all of our desire that we could ever want, but you gotta enlist in the military or whatever sort of thing. And I just thought of, would that solve a lot of issues in the world? If you are mentally ill and you want to kill people, you can do it in this. Does that satisfy the urge? Or does it make you want to really do it in real life? You're a sick pervert and you want to do sick pervert things. Does knowing that you can do this any day, up to 3 hours of doing your horrible thing, does that stop you from doing it in the real world? Because the holodeck is very lifelike. And I don't know. It was just an idea I had, and, you know, of controlling society, but maybe also helping it. Yeah, we have to kind of do bullshit that the government wants us to do, whether that's just do your 9 to 5, procreate, whatever it is. But your heart's desire is at home. You know, no need to be on the street fucking around doing stuff. You could go home. And you could do all that stuff in the safety of your own home. I don't know.
I got two, and it's funny you bring up 9 to 5, because I would say I would make a short of the
9 to 5,
the 9 to 5 story that you know I pitched to you.
Yeah.
You know, so that one, for anyone who has missed our
This meets that. It's the title is called 9 to 5.
9 to 5, and I created this the plot. Well, not the plot. I had this idea for a movie just based on the numbers 925. Where it is in the future where people are like so struggling for money that when they go into their sleep state, they go to, like, they work their normal day job or whatever, they go to bed, and then their consciousness is transferred to a robot on another planet or on a space station or wherever, where they can, like, earn extra money because these robots controlled by humans, because maybe, let's say, AI is outlawed or this is too dangerous, but they won't, like, we can't use AI, so we'll use human consciousness to run these robots. And so now they're working 2 jobs. They're working while they sleep. Like, that's how bad this Earth has gotten in terms of making money. So there's, like, the sci-fi twist to it. And it's called 9 to 5 because the operator of the robot, the main character of this movie, his robot is 9 to 5. 925. I just thought that was a fun idea. And then how the grand story of it'll just be, the overthrowing the rich people who run everything. And it's like, whatever. That's the classic story. But that's just like the setup. So I'd make a short of that, and maybe I just complained about it being a snippet, but it would be a snippet of that movie. That would be my, hey, here's my concept episode. Now give me the budget to make the whole thing. And then my other one, I just came up just now while I was thinking of stuff. And I'm just going to steal from the game Sifu.
Okay.
But not make it like a kung fu thing. It's in a world where, let's say you wanted to learn guitar, and you wanted to learn it today, and you want to be great at it. You can go into a machine where you can basically learn anything you want, but it would age you as how long it would take you to learn that. So you basically go into, like, this pocket dimension where time essentially stops forever. Like, you close the door, 2 seconds go by, you walk out, you have now learned that thing.
Okay.
But how long it takes you to learn that thing is up to you. So you may go like, oh man, I want to impress this girl, and now I need to learn guitar because she'll really like it if I knew guitar. So you pop into the machine, maybe 6 months go by, so maybe you were 18 now, or maybe it takes 2 years to be good enough to, like, where you think this will really get to her. So now you're 20 and she's 18. Maybe some of that stuff, like little things, might not be the big deal. Maybe it adds up. Maybe you go like, oh, I really want to be the world's greatest piano player. Maybe it takes you 50 years.
Yeah. And
so now, like, you're a world famous piano player, but you've missed out on 50 years of your life to be the greatest at something.
Do you flash forward in time? Like, you and me go in, we're the same age. You go in, you pop out, I've aged as well? Okay, it sucks
when you go to the
you.
machine, it's just aging you.
Okay.
Don't ask me how the technology works. It doesn't matter.
No.
It's just the concept.
Yeah.
It's just the idea of like, what are you willing to give up to be great at something? And it's just like, are you willing to give up the arguably the most precious thing humans have, and it's time? And you just make it a real like bummer of an episode where it's like, I've achieved greatness, but at what cost? I've lost all this thing. And it'd just be one of that thing. Or it could be a story of like, I did all these little things. It didn't take me that much time, but now like I'm a jack of all trades. I have all these skills, and it doesn't really matter because I haven't built relationships, and I'm gonna die in 10 years because I'm 80 now or whatever it is. I think there's something to mine there.
There was a show called Jeff and Some Aliens, and it was a loser named Jeff, and he lived with 3 wacky aliens, and they'd always give him like weird technology. I think I brought it up on the show where like he wanted to find his soulmate. And there was only 3 people in the world who was his soulmate. This like 70-year-old woman, this like dude. He's like, I'm not gay, and like, no, but this guy is your soulmate. You would have the perfect life. And then the last one was Scarlett Johansson. It was just like he was so perfect for her.
Yeah.
And so he goes, well, I'm gotta go meet her, and he becomes an obsessed person going after it. And so she blows him off, never gets to meet her. So it's like every episode there was a fun alien technology. And there is one where a guy Jeff, he can give up his youth for money, and it would just like print out diamonds or gold or something. And so he's trying to impress a girl, and he's getting older and older and older because he just keeps buying more and more stuff. So there is something kind of out there already, but okay.
So those are my 2 pitches.
I got one quick one, and I think I brought it up on the show a while ago, real fast. It's a world where at like, let's say 8 p.m., everybody falls asleep. Everybody gets like 8 hours of sleep. No one is awake. So
everyone's waking up at 4 a.m. every day?
I don't know. Whatever it is. It could be midnight. Let's just say midnight. Everyone goes to bed at midnight, and they wake up at 8 a.m.
Perfect.
And so society has evolved around that. Everybody, stores close plenty of times to get home. Nobody's asking you to work overtime because you're going to fall asleep at your desk. It's a societal thing. Everybody has to do it. And this guy is with his wife. They get into a car accident. She's bleeding out and is calling the ambulance people like, you guys need to get out of here. And they're looking at him like, the time it takes us to get there and back, we'll just fall asleep. So she's going to die anyways. And they refuse to come out. And then when the time hits, he falls asleep, and he doesn't. And then he figures out what goes on in the world while everybody is sleeping. What that is, I have no idea, but I think it'll be something spooky. Aliens or whatever, it's the machines and they're farming our dreams. I don't know what it is, but like, yes.
Or it turns out it's a simulation, or like they're in a video game, the most realistic video game, and like this kid plays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. or whatever, or 12 a.m.
Yeah, it's like The Sims. He realizes he's in The Sims.
He just goes to bed at the same time.
Yeah,
every day.
because the mom has a strict thing on the Wi-Fi. It turns off at midnight every night, and then it doesn't come on until 8 a.m. So, yeah. There you go.
There's the episode.
It's Serenity. It's just been a video game the entire time.
God, that movie sucked.
Okay, well, we're pushing 2 hours here.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right.
Nick, do you have anything to say? Do you have a Black Mirror episode to pitch real quick?
I don't.
All right, cool. Next week, Lilo and Stitch, Mission Impossible. Hopefully, Friendship comes locally because it's only playing in.
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, that's
last week of May.
You think it'll be the last week of May?
That's the wide release.
Oh, it is the wide release.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I know you don't care about Lilo and Stitch. The main thing's gonna be Mission Impossible. So we'll have the studio.
I'm gonna try to squeeze both in.
Yeah, I think you'll have time, Nick. I think you'll be fine. The studio's over next week. We could talk about that. Anything that we may have missed. I would like to talk about Andor with someone. If someone would actually just take the time and watch one of the best shows, not just Star Wars shows, one of the best shows of all time. God forbid.
Ben, how's The Walking Dead 4th series going?
I think it's like the
up.
6th series, actually.
Oh my God, why are you still watching?
Because it's fun.
No, it's not.
And it has the best zombie makeup and best zombie deaths of anything out there. You like zombies? You want to see cool fucking zombies getting killed in cool fucking ways? You watch Walking Dead.
Are there other zombie stuff out there right now other than...
I'm just saying zombies in general. Like, compared to any 28 Days Later, Dawn of the Dead, any zombie stuff, Walking Dead has the best zombies.
Good for them.
So you watch it for the zombies. Don't give a shit about these dumb humans. Anywho. All right.
The point of the story.
The story is good enough to keep you entertained until the next zombie gets his head cut off. So,
all right.
Well, Nick, thanks for coming. You want to plug anything or give out any socials?
Nah, just as always, thanks for having me.
If you want to get in contact with us, we are at WRPLpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. As always, I'm Ben.
And I'm Steve.
And keep consuming.